Nepal is rich in natural scenic beauty. Traveling from the high altitudes of the Himalayan region to the plains of the Tarai, one comes across majestic peaks, enchanting hills, captivating flora, lakes and ponds. The fauna of the Himalayan region, along with the rich biodiversity of the plains, have increased the attraction manifold. The diverse cultural heritage and tradition add yet another dimension to Nepal's beauty. Visitors from all over the world come here, and the Sherpas have made a name for themselves by virtue of their unique service and hospitality. Angdomi Sherpa of Junbesi, a beautiful mountain village in Solukhumbu district, is one such Sherpa. By asking visitors to help open a library in the village, he effectively restarted the concept of a community library. 63 years ago, Prime Minister Bhim Samsher had closed down the library during the autocratic Rana regime.
I was trekking and people started to tip me, and I said to our Sardar Angdomi, if you could do anything in your village, what would you do? And he said, I would like a library. He had no idea what a library was. It meant for him just a place where people could come and read newspapers. But for me, it was light bulbs that went off in my mind, because here was a chance to put books in a community and service a whole area, a community with a secondary school and a hub of elementary schools around it. And my feeling was, if teachers did not have books, they could not teach. If you had literacy programs and no books, you're wasting your money. And here was a chance to really bring Nepali books into the community. Also, if there's a market for books, then there's a reason for Nepali writers to write. There's a reason for publishers and printers to translate books and print them in Nepali. So there were a lot of reasons for building a library. When I asked people, there was no tradition of a lending library in Nepal. The only lending library that really existed was the British Library in Kathmandu. And the concept of a library was usually part of a university with closed stacks and books in English. The only libraries that I really saw outside were often started by Peace Corps workers in a hole in the wall, sometimes with pocketbooks in English that had all been eaten up during the monsoon season by the silverfish. There just were not any books. So the idea to have a lending library, to create a rural library system, get it out where the people had the least opportunity for education, made a lot of sense.
The concept of community library has now spread to several villages. Education is a compulsory prerequisite of development, and libraries play an important role in spreading education. The Thak Community Library, situated in Tukuchi village of the remote mountain district of Mustang, is the financial and educational backbone of the village.
विकास र शिक्षा सँगसँगै जानुपर्ने एउटा प्रक्रिया रहेछ हजुर शिक्षा मात्र भएर नहुने विकास पनि चाहियो विकास मात्र भएर नहुने शिक्षा पनि चाहियो त्यो भएको हुनाले विकासको साथसाथै शिक्षालाई निरन्तरता दिने शिक्षाको साथसाथै विकासलाई पनि निरन्तरता दिने चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ उद्देश्य रहेको छ हजुर
The development of Tukuche owes a lot to the sawmill run by the library.
पुस्तकालयलाई वार्षिक 50,000 बुझाउँछौं र त्यो भन्दा अल्फा आम्दानी भएको चाहिँ गाउँ र स्कुललाई आदि आदि हामीले चाहिँ बुझाउने गरेका छौं
विभिन्न संस्था सञ्चालन गर्न त आर्थिक बिना त कुनै पनि संसार चाहिँ एउटा राम्रोसँग सञ्चालन गर्न नसक्ने भएको हुनाले चाहिँ आर्थिक जरुरत परेको हुनाले हामीले चाहिँ मेन आय स्रोतको लागि चाहिँ यो मिल स्थापना गर्नु परेको हो
Income from the mill has contributed towards constructing the Red Cross building and has helped to build separate classrooms for little children in the school. The toddlers can now play and learn at the same time. The Thak Library supports students from economically disadvantaged families by providing stationery and school uniforms. It provides scholarships to students from backward communities and ethnic groups. The library was once closed, and rural education and development or READ, helped reopen it. READ helps establish community libraries that villagers can run on their own. The Thak Library received a major boost after READ helped construct the library building. The Juani Community Library in Chitwan is a forum where different groups interact. The library has established a women's group, a children's group, a youth group, and several other groups. These groups serve by helping encourage their members utilize the library. The library not only provides a place to read and learn, it also helps the villagers address other areas of development. It has, in collaboration with other organizations, conducted health camps in the village and provides health awareness raising information to library users.
यो संस्था मात्रै चाहिँ नि शैक्षिक संस्था मात्रै नभइकन सामुदायिक विकासका लागि एउटा केन्द्र पनि बनाउने यसले चाहिँ नि यस मार्फत जाँदा हाम्रो भिजन पहिला क्लियर हुन्छ र हामीले कार्यक्रममा पनि चाहिँ कार्यान्वयनमा पनि सहज रूपमा जान सक्छौं त्यसका लागि त पहिला भिजनै क्लियर हुनुपर्छ भन्ने हाम्रो चाहिँ नि उद्देश्य रहेका कारण हामीले यसलाई चाहिँ सँगसँगै जोडेर लिएर गइरहेका छौं र जनताको चाहिँ नि यहाँको स्थानीय उपभोक्ताहरूको चाहना पनि के छ भने पुस्तकालय मार्फतै सामुदायिक विकासका कामहरू गरेर लिएर जाँदा हरेक रूपमा चाहिँ नि यसको सैद्धान्तिक र व्यावहारिक पक्ष चाहिँ नि स्पष्ट भएर जाने राम्रो भएर जाने महसुस भएका कारणले पनि र त्यो आवश्यकता समुदायले गरेका कारणले पनि हामी बाध्य भएर त्यस क्षेत्रहरूमा पनि जान चाहिँ अग्रसर भइरहेका छौं.
The libraries are non-governmental, community-based organizations and are registered at the District Administration Office or the District Education Office. They have been greatly strengthened by the involvement of people working in the field of education and development. They are playing an important role in controlling the negative impact of the current disturbances in the area of education and development.
If the communities are involved from the very beginning, they not only own the process, but it also becomes economical. Because with the involvement of community, we can expect a lot of participatory contributions from the local areas. So in a country like Nepal, where our challenge is to reach to the nook and corner, and we must expand our services, involvement of communities and their active role facilitates expansion of educational opportunities to the nook and corner of the country.
According to the government's statistics, only 53% of Nepalis are literate. The list of efforts made by governmental as well as national and international non-governmental organizations is a long one. Quantitatively speaking, it is a rather impressive list. Qualitatively, it leaves a lot to be desired. One of Nepal's biggest shortcomings is the lack of continuous participation in the area of formal and informal educational programs. These programs have not been sustainable due to the absence of adequate level of involvement of the local people. On the contrary, the community libraries have been able to sustain their efforts in the area of education and development because they are established and run by the local people. Practical knowledge and self-learning also go hand in hand. It is another important reason for which READ helps to establish community libraries. READ is supported by donations made by individuals from developed countries. It is an organization of people who want to contribute in the area of education. READ's head office in the United States of America collects the donations. Its office in Nepal, READ Nepal, works with various governmental and non-governmental organizations to establish community libraries.
We donate space and we donate time for the work with READ. It's part of our corporate responsibility. So the office is housed in our Myths and Mountains office, kept totally separate in terms of work, in terms of budget, in terms of accounts. But the people work there and they spend their time on it, and that's our donation, one of our donations to READ.
There are so many projects launched, but the achievement was just nothing. And we realized this is because of the lack of the proper education system. Of course, there are many kind of educational projects came to be launched and implemented, but none of them gave emphasis on starting the library program. Not only Nepal, anywhere in the world, library plays crucial role in the development of the country and providing the education to the people.
READ Nepal's advisory board is constituted of planners, educators, and people working in the area of social development. A library is a place to gain knowledge. Politics and individual political ambitions have no place in it. Community-run libraries must strive to serve the people. Availability of space that is easily accessible from the village high school and other parts of the village, as well as a higher level of women's participation in the decision-making level, are two fundamental criteria followed by READ in selecting a village to provide assistance for building a community library. It also evaluates if there is a regular source of income to sustain a library before committing assistance. Some community libraries that are connected to roadheads or situated by roadsides run ambulance services for generating income. It is also a noble way of helping those in dire situations.
एकातिर एमएसले सेवामूलक काम पनि गर्छ भने अर्कोतिर पुस्तकालयलाई जुन पुस्तकालय छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ कार्य सञ्चालन गर्नको लागि केही सहयोग पुर्याउँछ भन्ने चाहिँ हिसाब हो हेतु हो हाम्रो.
Other libraries have started fisheries, while some rent out excess space. In developed countries, literacy levels are high. The level of literacy among men and women are also balanced in those countries. However, in Nepal, only 42% of women are literate, which is quite low when compared to the 65% of literacy among men. In many remote parts of Nepal, the literacy rate among women is as low as 5%.
It is very much the need of rural women, because for women to be literate, even if they go to an informal or a non-formal education class, for them to retain what they have learned, for them to have respite and have a space for themselves while they read, or for them to be able to discourse on any issues related with development, which ultimately has a huge impact on their lives. It's truly important.
In order to help reduce the discrepancy between the literacy level among men and women, READ directs its assistance towards those villages where women are more active. The Ama Samuha, or Mothers Group, of the Ghanpokhara village of Lamjung district are currently trying to find a sustainable source of income in order to start a community library.
50 किलो तितेपातीले 1 लिटर तेल निस्कँदो रहेछ. 1 लिटर तेलको 3000-4000 पाउँदो रहेछ.
समुदायका मान्छेहरू एकजुट हुनु पर्यो. सबैजना मिलेर यसलाई बढाउनलाई हुर्काउनलाई यसको निर्माण गर्नको लागि चाहिँ सहयोग गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ.
Assistance from READ has helped many organizations overcome difficulties created due to lack of books and a building. In many villages, small houses have been converted to wide, big and lasting libraries. The role of communities in constructing libraries has been exemplary. Here, people are working hard to add a third floor to the library building. Women and men are working on an equal footing. The assistance provided by READ to construct this library building and the contributions being made by members of the community are almost equal.
हामीले पिलर ढलान पनि हामी पुरै जनसंस्थानबाट गरेका छौं पिलर ढलान पनि त्यसपछि यो जुन यो छत छ यो छत ढलान पनि हामी पुरै जनसंस्थानबाट गरेका छौं हामी चाहिँ पुरै संस्थानबाट गरेका छौं हामी यो छत ढलान पनि
the donation is going directly to the community. So this way they think, our donors think, this is the right place to give the money, right place to help the people in Nepal.
READ expects local initiative to come rather than it prescribes or donates libraries to communities. So once the initiative comes from the local area, the people start owning the system because they are the ones who demanded it. They felt it is needed for their betterment, you know. The second approach that READ is taking is a concept of networking of communities with the local school system and the and the population at large, and that facilitates increasing role of the libraries in terms of extending services not only to the schools but also to the non-formal sort of education level in the community.
A culturally and traditionally rich community like that of the Tharus is today grappling with poverty. Education is given the least priority as other basic needs have taken the front seat. Fortunately, community libraries are opening in areas where the recently freed Kamayas or Tharu bonded laborers have been resettled. A community library can receive assistance from READ only once. However, READ carefully watches the progress being made by the libraries and helps in looking for resources elsewhere. READ helped construct this library building as it presented potential in terms of bringing income for the library. The library plans to rent out the building once completed. READ's contribution has helped establish public libraries in Nepal from east to west and from the mountains to the plains. At present, there are 30 libraries with more than 100,000 books in them collectively. Public libraries help people socialize. Children used to wasting their free time idling around are today found in the libraries reading books. On one hand, public libraries have helped promote development and education in the villages. On the other hand, they have also been beneficial to writers and publishers. The community libraries exhibit a good collection of books written by Nepali writers. There are also a good number of translated books. Writers and publishers feel encouraged in this situation. A library has an important role to play in sustaining and developing the local culture. Community libraries can work as catalysts for organizing different types of programs. Working for the community and its culture is at the heart of READ, which is why its efforts are much appreciated by the people. The public libraries also help in reducing the gap between the villages and the urban centers in terms of the level of education among people. By virtue of being situated near village high schools, they serve the need of the students. In remote places, the library is sometimes the only reference place for the local teachers.
The local problems can be solved by the local people if they know how to read and write. and that after reading and writing, so they can't buy all the materials by themselves. So the only place they can go would be a library, and library, the materials that are available in the library can be used by all the local people. So after literacy, the next step is to make the literacy useful, and that making the literacy useful would be only possible if there is a library in the area.
In order to cultivate the habit of reading, local schools encourage their students to visit the libraries. In the libraries, students learn how to use the resources. Once the students get familiar with the library, they get into the habit of reading for life.
यहाँ भएको किताबहरूले चाहिँ हाम्रो भाइ बहिनीहरूलाई हाम्रो विद्यालयको कोर्सलाई पनि सपोर्ट गर्छ।
अब लाइब्रेरी भएपछि त्यहाँ विद्यार्थीहरूलाई त एक्स्ट्रा एक्टिभिटिजको लागि हामीले अब पुस्तकको किताब मात्रै पढेर त हैन हुँदैन, त्यसको के कति अब कुराहरू सबै थाहा हुनलाई अनि सायद हप्तामा 2 चोटि चाहिँ हामीले लाने गरेको छ।
The public libraries organize school-level story writing and poetry reciting contests, as well as cultural programs on a regular basis. Such activities play an important role in helping children in shaping their personalities in a positive way. Wall newspapers published by community libraries are an important mode of communication. Villagers have received basic training for producing wall newspapers from READ, and the idea has caught everyone's interest. Even the local schools bring out their own wall newspapers. There is also a system of rewarding good libraries with prizes and certificates.
पैसै मात्रै र यो तलब मात्रै भनेको केही होइन रहेछ र समाज सेवामा लागेर यदि राम्रो काम गरे बापत त्यसको मूल्याङ्कन अवश्य हुँदो रहेछ भन्ने कुरा एउटा खुसीको अनुभव भएको छ।
The community members receive regular training on running libraries, which also encourages them.
कुनै पनि ठाउँमा कुरा गर्दा अथवा कुनै पनि ठाउँमा चाहिँ सम्पर्क गर्दाखेरि जति मलाई असजिलो हुन्थ्यो त्यो असजिलो चाहिँ अहिले मलाई महसुस छैन। मलाई यति सजिलो भयो कि त्यो गोष्ठी मैले प्राप्त गरिसकेपछि मैले कुनै पनि ठाउँमा के कुरा राख्नुपर्ने के माग राख्नुपर्ने म सजिलोसँगले राख्न सक्छु, सजिलोसँगले भन्न सक्छु।
READ Nepal is a voluntary organization. Most of the people working here are volunteers.
Actually, I've worked for some NGOs and as a staff and as a volunteer too. And I think volunteerism, it gives me an opportunity to learn and accumulate various experiences, as well as it gives me the opportunity to grow, to learn, and further my career as a development worker.
After gaining some experience, they will work in other places.
अन्त काम गर्नको लागि पनि आवश्यक चीजहरू भनेको चाहिँ मेन एक्सपिरियन्स हो, जुन कि सितिमिति सबैले चाहिँ गेन गर्न पाउँदैन भन्नुपर्छ। र जहाँ पनि अर्गनाइजेसनमा खोज्ने भनेको एक्सपिरियन्स हो। यहाँ काम गरिसकेपछि 90% भनौँ न अन्त अर्गनाइजेसनमा गर्नुपर्ने कामको पनि धेरै अनुभवहरू चाहिँ यहाँ खेप्न पाइन्छ।
By participating in the community library movement, one is motivated to become self-reliant. By identifying a community's needs and involving the community in the decision-making process, the community libraries help promote democracy. To be allowed to read is every citizen's right. Public libraries are making an immense contribution towards ensuring the people's right to read.